chapter number 5 of standard 9, subject biology. The name of the chapter is Fundamental Unit of Life. So in the previous lecture, we studied about what is a cell, who discovered the cell, and if we want to observe the cell under the microscope, what are the procedures? Right? So as we know, cell is the basic structural and functional unit of life. It is discovered by Robert Hooke in 1665 when he was observing the slice of a cork. The cell contains three main parts, that is nucleus, cytoplasm and cell membrane or plasma membrane. If we see the cells of onion under the microscope, we can see all these three components, and the structure and shape of the cell remains same in each of the onion, whether it is a big or a small. So as I told you in the last lecture, that in the next lecture we are going to learn about the contribution of various scientists in the field of cell biology. So let's start with the first one. As we have learned, Robert Hooke in 1665 he discovered cell. Right? So cell is discovered by Robert Hooke. Though it is a very small discovery, but it has much importance in the field of cell biology, because we know that each and every living organisms is made up of a cell. So in cell biology today also, means in 21st century, okay, this discovery has a much importance. So once again, Robert Hooke in 1665 he discovered cell. Then second scientist was Leeuwenhoek in 1674. He discovered free living cell in pond water. As we know that Robert Hooke has discovered the cell in the slice of pork. Now what Leeuwenhoek had done, he took the pond water and he observed this pond water under the improved microscope. Okay, Robert Hooke has discovered the cell in his self-designed microscope. Now Leeuwenhoek in 1674 has used the improved microscope and he had observed the free living cell, means these cells are moving in water, so they are free living cell in pond water. Okay, the next is Robert Brown. Okay, in 1831 he discovered the nucleus in the cell, which we have already studied, that nucleus generally present in the center of any cell and it controls the function of the cell. So this nucleus is discovered by Robert Brown in 1831. Then Purkinje in 1839 he gave the term protoplasm. You can see here protoplasm. Okay, protoplasm generally consists of the material which is inside the cell, means the nucleus, cytoplasm, cell organelles, this all together known as protoplasm. So this term was given by Purkinje in 1839. Then in 1838 and 1839 there was a huge discovery in the field of cell biology, that is by Skadden and Scaven, okay, they gave the cell theory. Cell theory means what? Cell theory is nothing but they told us that each and every cell, each and every organism is made up of a cell. Means all the animals and plants on this earth are made up of cells. So this theory, that is known as cell theory, was given by Skadden and Scaven in 1838 and 1839. Okay, they were the two biologists. Then in 1855, Virchow, he expanded this cell theory. Means he gave much more information on this cell theory. So Virchow in 1855. Then in 1940, there was a big discovery in the field of cell biology, and that is electron microscope. As we know that without electron microscope, we cannot observe the particular parts of any cell. Especially if we want to observe the plasma membrane, electron microscope is must, right? So like that in 1940 there was a discovery of electron microscope. So these are the scientists who contributed a lot in the field of cell biology. Let's again revise. In 1665 Robert Hooke discovered the cell. Then Anton van Leeuwenhoek in 1674 he observed the cell in free living cell in pond water. Then in 1831 Robert Brown had discovered the nucleus. The term protoplasm was first coined by Purkinje in 1839. Cell theory means the animals and plants are made up of cell. It is given by Skadden and Scaven, the two biologists, in 1838 and 1839. And the last is Virchow, 1855. He expanded the cell theory, right? So this is the contribution of scientists in the field of cell biology. Now as we know, there are different number of cells. Means the cell varies in shape, in size and numbers. So on the basis of numbers, there are various types of organism. Okay, so on the basis of number, there are two types of organism. Let's see this. On the basis of number means if any cell is having any organism is having only one cell, then it is known as unicellular. So here we can say uni means single and cellular means cell. So the organism which is having a single cell, which is made up of a single cell, is known as unicellular organism. So in this type of organism, each work means the function of the organism is done by only and only one cell. It may be digestion, it may be excretion, it may be circulation. All the work is done by only single cell. The example of this unicellular organisms are amoeba. As we already know this, amoeba, it is a unicellular organism. Then second is paramecium. It is also a unicellular organism. Then third is Chlamydomonas. So Chlamydomonas is a type of algae. You might have seen algae on pond water. Generally they are like green patches, right? So this is the type of algae, Chlamydomonas. It is also a unicellular organism. Then next is bacteria. We all know about bacteria. Okay, some bacteria are good and some are bad, right? So we have already studied in 8th standard about bacteria. So this bacteria are also unicellular organisms. So on the basis of number of the organism, number of the cells, we are dividing the organism into two, unicellular and the second is multicellular. So here we can write multi. Multi means many and cellular means cells or cell, right? So here the meaning of multicellular organism is the organism which is having many cells or the organism which is made up of many cells are known as multicellular organism, right? So here the examples of multicellular organisms are all animals, all the green plants and human beings. So we all are, all animals, plants and human beings, we all are multicellular organism. As I told you that in unicellular organism, for various function, only one cell is responsible, but in multicellular organism, the different functions can be done by different types of cells. It may be digestion, then digestion can be done by the cells of stomach and intestine, right? Then excretion, it can be done by the cells of kidneys, right? So for each function, the different cells are responsible in multicellular organisms. So this is the type of organism on the basis of their number. Then we can see that there are various types of cell in our body, right? Each type of cell is different in their structure and they are different, okay, because of their function. We have fat cells, we have muscle cells, we have sperm, ovum, etc. So all these cells are different in structure and shape and it is depend on function. Say for example, nerve cell or we can say neuron. So it is a branched cell, okay, which will transfer the signal from one part of our body to the other part, right? So like that we have many types of cells on the basis of their structure and shape. Now as we know, cell is the basic fundamental structural and functional unit of life. The cell, okay, as we know that it is having three main components: the nucleus, the cytoplasm and the cell membrane. Each we have to study in detail in this chapter. First of all, let me tell you one thing, that in any organism, if it is multicellular, then there is a division of labor is there. Means division of labor means each group of cells has given a type of particular function. Means say for example, heart. So the group of cells in the heart will do the function of circulation. Okay, the cells of lungs will do the function of, yes, respiration. The cells of kidneys will do the function of excretion. So like that, all the multicellular organisms have division of labor. But in unicellular organism, as I told you before, there will be no division of labor because the one cell will do all the functions, that is excretion, digestion, respiration. This all will be done by only and only the single cell. So now students, in our next lecture we will discuss about the three main components of cell, that is the nucleus, the cytoplasm and the plasma membrane.